Hello everybody, this is Rich Sis, but this is my cat Sphere. And I just wanted to upload a video to talk about one of the things that becomes problematic with the psychokinesis and all that. It is with the fact that we need to be more open with it in order for it to be more, for us to develop more faster. Because when you look back in the past, why, like big famous people become so good at their craft, like dancing and baseball and football, is because it was already out in the open. It was already something that was already people were doing in the public. And basically, like there needs to be like a school or something like that to work off of each other, and for it to be almost like a forced thing or something like that. Like, I don't want to say forced, but it has to be something that you have to kind of like be serious about, like learning math or writing or something like that. Eventually, we all have trouble. Some people have trouble, but over the years, you learn to get better at math and reading and writing. We just learn how to read, we learn how to write, you know, and it's because the school just kind of expects and demands it. And if we had a school that was just like, we just went to school for psychokinesis, and it was just there, and similar to like regular schools, expecting you to progress, you would progress. It would take a few years, but you would progress. And working with other people around you allows you to work off each other and to work on better development for each other. You show your friend this, your friend shows you that, and you guys just work off each other. And then a few years later, one of you gets better, and you teach each other, and it's just a big thing. It's just like with Michael Jackson or Elvis. Why did Michael Jackson become big or Elvis become big? How did they become so talented with Elvis with the guitar and Michael Jackson with dancing and singing? It's because it was already in the open. It was already something that was already there in the public. So subconsciously and consciously, they learned to get sucked into it and to accept it and to develop a passion, because it was there and they saw others do it. Seeing others do it, and seeing others allows you to become influenced, and you just learn, you just get better at it. It's just like Bruce Lee. How did Bruce Lee get so good at martial arts? It's because it was already out in the open. Everybody was doing it, and he learned from the best, and he was inspired by everyone. How did Tiger Woods get so good at golf? Because it was already out in the open. He already saw a lot of people doing it. He was inspired, and he learned, and he got better. That's how psychokinesis. The only way psychokinesis get better, for everyone to get better, is for it to be more out in the open, and for others and for everyone to work together. And that's just that's just like the problem there, is that it's a very specific, particular thing, in that we may not understand it now, but that if we have more better opportunity to practice it out in the open and to practice with each other. That's how prodigies are made. Prodigies are made because they're observing certain types of arts and skills out in the open on television and in public, and it just clicks in their head. It's just like when you first start out. For example, when you first start out with basketball, when you're 5 or 6 years old, or 8 or 10, you suck at it. But then when you stick with it, eventually, all of a sudden, it just clicks, and you can dribble and you can shoot the hoops. With baseball, you suck at it at the beginning, and then a few years later, you just get better at it. You know how to swing it. With video games, when I was a kid, I sucked at video games, but then a few years later, I got better at it, and now I'm good. Everybody's good at video games, but at the beginning, maybe some people suck. And that's the thing, is that it needs to be out in the open, so that you can just subconsciously and spiritually and emotionally absorb all of that stuff. You're going through it every day in and day out, day in and day out. And that's how prodigies are made. That's how legends are made. Eventually, that's how people can learn to levitate and learn to flip cars with their mind. Those things are possible. But over time, when something is out in the open, over time, at the beginning, it becomes hard. But then, a few years later, because we're surrounded by it out in the open in public, we just learn. It just clicks. One day, it just clicks. And we need to have it be out in the open. We need to learn from each other and be more acceptable of each other, and to expose it with each other. And that's how we can get better with psychokinesis. That's the key. So this is Rich Sis, Matt Cat Sphere. Take care, guys. Don't make the video too long, but that's the key for all of us to get better at it. Just like with skateboarding, some people suck at the beginning, but then a few years later they get better at it. But of course, there's certain techniques that gotten better. But there's the training wheel things. But that's the thing. Eventually, we have all types of levels of good and bad, and expert skateboarders and baseball players. Psychokinesis just like that. There could be low and high and different levels, but everybody's all over the world can get better if we just learn to expose each other and learn from each other. This is Mad Cat Sphere. Take care, guys. Want to share that with you. That's the key to learning and getting better from each other.